Let me introduce myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ping Ann Addo. I am an associate professor in the Department of Anthropology, and I'm also the director for the Center of Innovative Teaching. The Center for Innovative Teaching has been operating on our campus for over 35 years, and we have, for the last 12 years, collaborated with an amazing group of units and organizations at UMass Boston, including the Office for Faculty Development, Information Technology, our library, the Healy Library, and the College of Advanced and Professional Studies, CAPS. So on behalf of all of these units, I'd like to welcome you, and I'd like to declare open the conference, the 2018 University Conference on Teaching, Learning, and Technology, Cultivating Students' Intellectual Identities as Knowledge Producers. Every year, the conversation about what to title and theme the conference is always, it can be an interesting and entertaining one. We always center on students because that is who we teach. We teach people, we don't teach subjects. Or maybe we do both. But when we're standing in front of people, who is there matters. Which is why I started by talking about the fact that we are here together. That's really important. We're a community of pedagogues, of like-minded people who want to see our students do their best, but want to see them not be knowledge reproducers, but knowledge producers themselves. We don't want to teach at them, but through them and with them. And we don't want them to leave our classrooms full of knowledge and without empowerment. We don't want them to leave our classroom full of interesting memories and not with connections and a sense of community amongst their fellow learners. And so at this conference, what we have done is we have modeled the layout of the day on thinking about who has been innovative, has been recognized for that, and who can share with us some of the reasons and the methods, the practices, and the philosophies behind how it is they became distinguished and recognizable as innovative teachers. Thus, all of our panels and workshops today are led by former Innovative Teaching Award winners. Again, their names and faces are coming up. And for those of you looking at this and trying to figure out why it is everything I say has nothing to do with what's on the screen, it's because that's separate to my opening remarks. The topics have a broad range. And for those of you wondering why it is you don't have a program in front of you, you will have it shortly. It's being reprinted because it was printed like this. So we apologize, but we're remedying that. You can get to the program through a URL, which has been coming up, and it will, I'm not sure where on the slideshow it is, but it's bit.ly/UCTLT18, so bit.ly/UCTLT18, and the UCTLT is University Conference on Teaching, Learning, and Technology. So that'll pop up again shortly, and I'd love it if you'd write it down. And know that in a very few minutes, we will be presenting you with a printed copy of the program. So let me get back to my opening remarks, which is also to add that on the last Friday of the last week, the Friday of the last week of a long semester that wraps up a long winter and an extremely interesting year at UMass Boston, I am heartened to see all of you here to connect about the thing that brings us here as faculty. This is the thing that all faculty at our university have in common. We teach. We don't all research the same things. We don't all work on the same committees. We're not all, quote unquote, ranked at the same level, but we work with our students. And so because we're here with that conviction that we can do better at that because we're together today, I want to applaud you, thank you for being here, and share with you my absolute excitement that we're going to wrap up this interesting year at UMass Boston in an amazing way, thinking about the thing that we do best at UMass Boston, which is educate, teach, connect, and ensure that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and indeed the nation and the world, okay, knows that we make a valuable contribution in and through the lives of students. Someone who spent a life devoted to making the world different and better in and through the lives of students is our keynote speaker today, Dr. Eisenkraft. He is the Distinguished Professor of Science Education, Professor of Physics, and Director of the Center of Science and Math in Context. I love the acronym COSMIC at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. He's the past president of the National Science Teacher Association and is also past president of the Science Academic Advisory Committee of the College Board. He's project director of the NSF-supported Active Physics and Active Chemistry, introducing high-quality project-based science to all students. He's chair and co-creator of the Toshiba NSTA Explorer Vision Awards, involving 15,000 students annually. 15,000 students annually. He leads the Wipro Science Education Fellowship Program, which is bringing sustainable change to 20 school districts in Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Texas. He's recently been supporting novel educational initiatives in Thailand and India, and his current research projects include investigating the efficacy of a second-generation model of distance learning for professional development, a study of professional development choices that teachers make when facing large-scale curriculum change and assessing the technological literacy of K-12 students. Dr. Eisenkraft has received numerous awards recognizing his teaching and related work, including the National Public Service Award, the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science Teaching, the American Association of Physics Teacher Millikan Medal, the Disney Corporation Science Teacher of the Year, and the NSTA Robert Carlton Award. He is a fellow of the AAAS and holds a patent for the Larger Vision testing system. So without further ado, Dr. Eisenkraft.
So there was a battleship, and one of the sailors saw a light ahead on the starboard side. So he said to the captain, he alerted the captain to this, and the captain got on the radio and said, advise you to change your course by 20 degrees immediately. And the response came back, we advise you to change your course by 20 degrees immediately. And the captain, getting somewhat annoyed, says, I'm a captain of the United States Navy. We are on a collision course. Alter your course 20 degrees now. And the response comes back, I am a seaman second class, and I strongly urge you to change your course 20 degrees. The captain says, I am a battleship. And the response comes back, I am a lighthouse. So, how do we shift 20 degrees? Who gets to shift 20 degrees? We certainly expect our students to be somewhat like battleships, a lot of inertia, but we expect them to change. But some of them refuse to change. We know they come to our classes with misconceptions, prior conceptions, certainly ideas which we do not believe in our current fields. We pretend that they're common sense, but we know they're not common sense because if they were, we wouldn't have to teach them. Every concept we teach in our classes has come about through 20, 30, 40 years of very hardworking people trying to figure these things out. And then we teach them like, oh yeah, you should know this. And not realize that, but these students have for 20 years been doing just fine for themselves with their present conceptions, and we're saying, please change. And we're often not giving them any kind of rationale for why they should change. And then they see us as lighthouses. They see us as not caring about their thoughts or ideas. There's a saying in quantum mechanics, which is when the students start worrying about the philosophical implications of quantum mechanics, you just say, shut up and calculate. That's not your job. Just shut up and calculate. And we give the impression to the students that the discipline is a body of facts that do not change. Oh yeah, this is the discipline, learn this. As opposed to, no, well, we're just not going to change. As opposed to this battleship idea, now recognizing that battleships have incredible inertia. And as having incredible inertia, they, I thought I was doing well. Having incredible inertia, they can still change. Just 20 degrees, that's all we want. And the students will do that, but they do it for the semester. They don't do it forever. So they will write down what you, so I'll give you an example. So one of our colleagues, Eric Mazur at Harvard, there's this 30-question multiple choice test that all physicists look at and say, oh, my A students should certainly get 28 out of 30 on this test. They give it to their students, they get 12 out of 30. It's like, what's going on? There's no math on this. It just asks which ball is going to hit the ground first or whatever. And so Mazur, so at Harvard, those kids know how to take multiple choice tests, otherwise they don't get into Harvard. I mean, that's one of the prerequisites. And so he gives this exam to his students at the end of the year thinking they'll all do very well. They do very well on all exams. And one of the young women raises her hand 5 minutes into the exam, and he says, yes. And she said, are we supposed to write down what we think happens or what you taught us happens? This compartmentalization of knowledge. So they're going to learn what you tell them to learn, and they're going to repeat it to you at the end of the semester. But do they really change for their lives, or is it just like, I'll do this for you because you have some power over me right now? And they see us as battleships. They see us as not recognizing that knowledge is tentative, that interpretations of the grapes of wrath are different when you have immigrant populations being persecuted in America right now, when you have people who are homeless in our schools, in our classes. And no, I don't want to hear from you. Let me tell you about John Steinbeck. It's like, it has to change. So cultivating students' intellectual identities as knowledge producers, that must have taken people hours to come up with a title. It took me like, what does this mean? Hold on, got it. So how do we make them active learners? And one of the ways is through project-based learning, which I'll spend a few minutes talking about. So we developed this unit called Sports on the Moon, physics unit, teaching physics. The challenge for students is to identify, adapt, or create a sport that can be played on the moon that will be entertaining. They have to describe the sport, tell us about how the Earth and the moon differ, and they have to compare the play. So the first thing is, what do you have to know to be successful? Well, first of all, you have to know something about the moon. So let me just show you something about the moon for 1 minute, because it's just such a miraculous idea. These are people walking on the moon in 1970. And if we set up a moon colony at some point, these people will need exercise so their bones don't decalcify and their muscles don't atrophy. And sports is one way to get exercise. What kind of sport can you play on the moon? I remember I was telling my friend in England that I was introducing Buzz Aldrin. And I said, well, I think everybody in the world knows Neil Armstrong. Maybe they don't know Buzz Aldrin. I said to her, yeah, Buzz Aldrin was the second person to walk on the moon. And she said, so they say. So you have to know how the moon is different from the Earth, how these affect sports, but you have to figure out what sport. Different field, different rules, different scoring. What do you do? So let me just give you some little physics lesson here. What happens? So I weigh about 180 pounds on Earth. And so if you try to push me out of the way, you're pushing somebody who weighs 180 pounds. On the moon, it's very hard to push me. It's the same 180 pounds push. But I only weigh 30 pounds, so you can lift me and throw me in the air. So when you play football, do you just, instead of pushing people out of the way, just throw them in the air and run under them as a different strategy? Projectiles go 6 times further and it takes 6 times longer to go there. So I had known that for so many years until then we wrote this thing and I said, what does that mean 6 times? So that's a home run at Fenway Park. That ball is going, oh, he's on the warning track, oh, he's gone. It's a home run. It takes about 4 seconds, 5 seconds. On the moon, that's what it looks like. That ball is going. We're going to break for commercial. We'll come back in 30 seconds, letting you know what happened. So if you think baseball's at all boring on Earth, you can't imagine what it would be like on the moon. Basketball, where you have to jump, will you jump 6 times higher? What does jumping 6 times higher mean on the moon? Well, that's a jump on the Earth. That's LeBron James jumping. Boom. Oh, we're going to have to change basketball a little bit. So the students have to put this together, and each team of students come up with their own sport. The learning takes place when we give the instruction, but another level of learning takes place when they have to transfer their knowledge from activity to the challenge. When each team presents their sport, they get a review of the physics content in multiple contexts. Not me coming up with other examples, students coming up. Here's what it's like in swimming, here's what it's like in badminton, here's what it's like in football, baseball, soccer. The students are motivated. We know that from what engages students intellectually, research, as well as the work we've done. Students want to be experts in their class, and they can be. Now, everybody will be an expert in Newton's second law, but one group is an expert in Newton's second law with soccer on the moon. One is an expert in Newton's second law with baseball on the moon. And certainly, our students also want to represent their interest in their culture, and they should be allowed to. So it's not like we're going to do football because all those Colombian students want to do soccer, and the students from India want to do kabaddi, perhaps. So we have those opportunities. It frames instruction without compromising the content. Real-world problems, students defining excellence, no right answer, a community of learners. So what we're here to do today is hear how some of our colleagues have shifted course or their courses by 20 degrees, and how they brought students into that learning equation. Thank you very much.
We have with us our acting provost, Dr. Emily McDermott, who is here to present the Teaching Innovation Awards for this year. So I'd like to welcome her, and she's going to say a few words, and then we will go into the awards. I'd like to thank all of you for your time and your attention in the last few hours. I've popped in and out of some panels, and they've been vibrant and well participated in. So I'm excited for this stage of the program, and I'm really excited for you to meet some of our award winners. So, Provost McDermott, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here to present awards to teachers who are committed and exciting and vibrant in their pedagogy. I generally, just as a person, I resist slogans, but the one UMass slogan that I've always really liked is that we are a research university with a teaching soul. I think that tells the truth about us. It talks about how committed we are to pedagogy as well as to scholarship and research. And so I'm very happy to be here for this wonderful event that is being put on by the Office of Faculty Development, the Center for Innovative Teaching, and IT department, along with both of the others. So with that said, I'm ready to proceed, so please go ahead and call people up.
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Judith Goldman, the Director for the Office for Faculty Development.
Hi, I'm here to, no applause needed. I'm here to read the, to honor and to read the descriptions of our two face-to-face Teaching Award winners. The first award winner, unfortunately, is not here. Kristen Murphy, an assistant professor in curriculum and instruction. Kristen Murphy, assistant professor of curriculum and instruction, is the winner of the Face-to-Face Teaching Award. An expert in special education, she helps her students become better special educators by using a mixed reality simulation designed to give pre-service teachers safe opportunities to practice their teaching. By doing so, Dr. Murphy's students get to interact with student and adult avatars and experience making one-on-one decisions in a risk-reduced environment with immediate feedback not only from the avatars but also through the debriefing afterwards. Massachusetts state officials were so impressed by her work that they asked her to use her special education expertise to design new avatars which are now being used. Dr. Murphy has embraced and contributed to a cutting-edge technology that is poised to transform education. We're fortunate to have Dr. Murphy as a faculty member at UMass Boston, where she has shared her innovative teaching experience with colleagues, and we honor her today with this award. Okay. And honorable mention goes to Karen Horn, assistant professor in economics. Karen Horn, are you here? Please come up. Come on up. Karen Horn, Assistant Professor of Economics, is this year's recipient of the Honorable Mention Award in Face-to-Face Teaching. Having designed 2 innovative courses where students use new technologies and interact with world partners, she's enabled impressive results. For example, in her Economics of Inequality course, where students use Tableau, a data visualization software, 2 students had the opportunity to share their research on race, gender, debt, and inequality at a conference sponsored by Tableau at UMass Lowell. For her Advanced Topics in Urban Economics course, Professor Horn has reached out to 2 organizations, the Boston Planning and Development Agency and a technology startup firm, Navit, to provide her students with real-world experience. These organizations share data with the students while the students analyze these data and even design surveys. We congratulate Professor Horn on these productive innovations, and we honor her today with this award. Congratulations.
Our next set of awards is the Community Engaged Teaching Awards. Our winner this year is Dr. Summer Forrester. Dr. Forrester is an assistant professor of music. She asks in her syllabus, what happens when traditional paper-pencil courses are reimagined as hands-on, art-based courses that encompass service learning? In her undergraduate course, Orchestration for Music Educators, she paired pre-service teachers with 2 middle school classes in urban settings to create a service learning pathway for our majors. Student teachers orchestrated music to meet the needs of the class, rehearsed the ensemble, and made edits with the middle school students. On campus, teachers were introduced to software and orchestration techniques while also engaging in philosophical discussions about urban education. At the end of the semester, teachers met as a class to generate a comprehensive podcast, including live recordings from rehearsals and audio of the original pieces and their completed arrangement. So this multi-layered pedagogical practice resulted in positive student learning outcomes at UMass Boston, as well as impactful mentoring within the middle school community that our graduates will serve. We honor Professor Forrester's work today with this award, and we congratulate her heartily. Our honorable mention winner in the Community Engaged Teaching Award category is Dr. Maria Ivanova. I'd like to welcome her up. Dr. Ivanova is an associate professor in conflict resolution, human security, and global governance. As we all know, innovation in teaching techniques implies new perspectives and transformation in learning. And in her course, Environmental Issues in Africa, Dr. Ivanova created a unique learning experience for graduate students that is transdisciplinary, transnational, and transformative. With an NSF/IGERT grant, she engaged academic, policy, and local communities in Ethiopia and Rwanda and changed the teaching paradigm such that the policy community now sees McCormack students as collaborators. The Ministry of Environment in Rwanda and the UN Environment Program have requested the McCormack School's leadership for a range of new sustainability research and policy projects as a direct result of this work. These invaluable international educational experiences have been transformative academically and have inspired new self-confidence, mental discipline, and empathy. As one student exclaimed, regardless of our disciplines, we are all professional rock stars now. We honor Professor Ivanova's work today with this award, and we congratulate her heartily. Coming to the podium now is Dr. Wendy Shapiro, Associate Dean of the College of Advancing and Professional Studies, and she will present the Online Teaching Awards.
So as Ping An just said, we are now going to turn our attention to the Online Teaching Awards. And our award winner this year is Brendan Holloway. Is he here? So Brendan Holloway is a lecturer in English, is this year's winner of the Online Teaching Award. Over the past year, Brendan has designed and piloted UMB's first online English 102 course. When the composition program was approached by CAPS to develop an online course, it had mixed feelings. The task demanded an online course that would somehow replicate the collaborative, interactive, workshop-style composition courses that meet face-to-face while being accessible to far-flung students. Brendan has developed carefully scaffolded, research-based assignments. Learning activities include discussion board postings and massively peer-reviewed workshops. Assignments are developed as hypertext with hyperlinks that bring students to informative, rich internet destinations that allow them to truly take advantage of what an online course affords. Even as he designed this work, Brendan never lost sight of the primary values and practices of writing instruction, including the importance of an exploratory writing process and finding one's voice amid the din of authoritative voices. With this award, we recognize Brendan Holloway for his innovative work in bringing UMB's composition program values to an online population of students. Congratulations. Next, we have Michael Johnson, who is professor and chair in the Department of Public Policy, is receiving our Honorable Mention Award. Professor Michael Johnson, who is professor and chair of public policy, is this year's recipient of the Honorable Mention Award in online teaching. His course, Skills for Policy Analysis, is a full hybrid master's level introduction to probability and statistics. The course consists of an in-person section and an asynchronous online section. The in-person section is cross-listed with the in-person course Qualitative Analytic Methods for Urban Planning and Community Development. All three sections benefit from multiple complementary instructional technologies. This hybrid model for course delivery has supported Professor Johnson's teaching in two ways. Real-time delivery enables him to interact with students and improvise alternative explanations. Asynchronous online delivery enables him to provide content that supports thoughtful presentation of essential topics along with alternative explanations. We honor Professor Johnson's innovative work today with this award and congratulate him.